Alrighty, what are we doing? Alrighty. It's a flip classroom. We're gonna learn some tricky maths. 'Cause I'm awesome. Alright, year 6. This week we are looking at something we've looked at before, but... Whoa. There we go. Something we've looked at before, but we're taking a bit further. That thing is percentages, and we're going to change it into a fraction. Fraction. And also into decimals. And we're also going to change them back from those things to the other things, like a maths moonwalk. And no, that joke wasn't written in my script. And the reason we do that is to give us some more flexibility when we're working stuff out. Sometimes it's easier to use percentage, sometimes it's nicer to have a fraction, sometimes a decimal is more simple. So that's why we're learning all the different ways of changing them around. Okay, let's get into it. Alright, as usual, you are going to write a sheet to help you remember, because if you don't write it down, your brain will delete it. Here is the first thing. Let's start with percent. Remember that percent equals per 100. So that when we change that into a fraction, sounds Italian, fraction, or French, fraction. All you do is put it over 100. So if we start with 7%, we know that percent means per 100, so it's 7 over 100. Tick! Hooray! Balloons! Fish balloons. Write that on your cheat sheet now. Alright, now that we have that as a fraction, we are going to turn it into a decimal. See, I put the decimal point in the word decimal. Ha! And the way we do that is just like we learned in percentages before. You read it down as division. 7 divided by 100. Now, here's how you can do it in your head without a calculator. When you divide by 100, the decimal point is going to change places to make it 100 times smaller. So instead of having 7.0, and we usually keep these invisible because we don't use them usually, the decimal point makes the number smaller if it's on this side. So instead of 7.0, we get 0.7. It goes from unit to tenths, and if we move it one more time, it goes to hundredths. So when we divide by 100, we change this number into hundredths. The decimal point goes from here to over 1 over 2, which is there. And to make sure that we've read the decimal point properly, we put a 0 in front to make it easier for anyone reading it, like me. And my aim in life is to make my life easy. So, 7 divided by 100. Whenever you divide by 100, you move the decimal point twice, and then you get a new number. So far, we've learned that 7% equals 7 over 100 as a fraction, which also equals 0.07. Write that on your cheat sheet now. Divide by 100, move decimal point twice. Okay, quick quiz time. If you have a percentage, how do you change that into a fraction? How do you do it? Percentage equals per 100, which means over 100. So your fraction will always be over 100. Whatever the percent is, let's choose 3. 3% equals 3 over 100 as a fraction because percent means per 100. And then we go from there to a decimal, which we work out by reading down as division. Put this on your cheat sheet, you're going to need it. When you divide by 100, you move the decimal point twice. And so we end up with 0.03 because the decimal point moved from here, 1, 2, to there. Let me draw that in red. 1, 2, to there. And that's how you get a decimal. So all of these values are the same. 3%, 3 over 100, 0.03, all are the same thing, just in different clothes. Okay? Now, we're going to move them back, because once 3% changed to 3 over 100, or to 0.03, just like changing clothes, it was like, do I look fat in this? Yeah, I don't like this. Oh, I like this one. How's this one? No, I hate it. Let's go back to the first one. So we change them all back and forth pretty simply. Let's do it. So when you move the decimal back to a fraction, you actually just undo exactly what you did. You do a bit of time warping. Woo! That is time. So you just move that decimal point back a few places and slip that 100 back underneath. So 0.0, let's go with 0.06. We know that as a decimal, the point would have moved 2 times this way, so we just move it 2 times back and slip that 100 underneath. So we get 6 over 100. 0.06 time warp. Arrow's pointing the wrong way. Time warp. Then you get 6 over 100 because you're undoing dividing by 100. That's what you're undoing. Then, changing fraction back to percentage, we know that percent equals per 100. And so, this per 100, we can just flip up here right into percent again. In fact, you could even think of it as 100. Look at that. It's like a 1 and 2 zeros. Don't think about that too deeply. Okay. So, we've moved the decimal points back and slipped 100 back underneath. Time warp! And then the per 100 turns back into percent. Wow. Maths. Magic. Magic. Okay? Have something like that on your cheat sheet, but the time warps are optional. Okay? Good. Pause it there if you didn't get to write down all those things on your cheat sheet. All right, time for some examples. What is 3% as a fraction? You know what? Let's make it 8%. Twist. Plot twist. The percent means per 100, which means it's 8 per 100. 8 over 100 is our fraction. Now, quick side note, I would also like you to be thinking about simplifying this. And both of these numbers on our fraction can be divided by 4. That's the number that they are both divisible by. And so 8 divided by 4 is 2. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So I want you to think about simplifying fractions because on your test for this, you might see a fraction that's simplified and it doesn't look like a percent, but it really is because they've both been divided by the same number. Okay, so think about simplifying fractions. That's good. Now that we've got our... Let me change colors to a nice orange. Now that we've got it as a fraction, I would like you to change that to a decimal. Have a look at your cheat sheet and see how you change a fraction to a decimal. Look now. That's right, you treat it as division. So you read it down as division. And dividing by 100, 8 divided by 100, because we read it down. You just move this decimal point that's always on the end of a number over twice. And put some numbers in those gaps, which are a 0. Decimal point ends up here. And we put a 0 in there, skinny 0, to let everyone know that there is a decimal point there in case they missed it. So 8 over 100 becomes 0.08. And you've done it. You've changed it from 8% to 8 over 100 to 0.08. All the same value, just a different way of doing it. Okay, change them back now. 0.08. We move that decimal point back, and we slip 100 underneath again. So now we've got 0.08 equals 8 over 100. And change that now from a fraction to a percentage. The over 100 bit is per 100, which is percent, which is 8%. There you go. Hopefully you use your cheat sheet to help you work that out. Good. Next. Let's do 99% as a fraction. Check your cheat sheet. How are you going to write 99% as a fraction? Excuse me while I crack my neck. Oh, that was a good one. Percent means per 100. So it's going to be 99%, 99 per 100. There you go, fraction. Ding! Now write it as a decimal. Check your cheat sheet. What should you be doing? Read that down as division. Divide by 100, move that decimal point twice. And for this one, you don't need to drop a 0 in there because of the jumps, but you've already got a 9 in there filling that place, so you just need a 0 there to show everyone the decimal point, and it becomes 0.99. Good. All right. Let's change it back. The decimal point moves 2 places back because of time warp. And we slip that 100 back underneath because we're going back to the future. I mean, back to the fraction, which gives us 99 over 100. Decimal moved back twice because we know what we did here. We moved the decimal forward, and that got rid of the 100. Now we move it back, and that brings the 100 back because of time warp. That's fun. That's a new thing now. And lastly, change it back into a percentage. We know that per 100 equals percent. There we go, 99%. Good. All right, and here's one for you to bring in tomorrow. I would like you to write 14% as a fraction. Fraction. And as a decimal. Bring that into school tomorrow for a bonus, and I will see you then. Bye!